Joining me now is Neil Bradley. He is the Executive Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce. Nice of you to come in.
Blake, great to see you.
On a Friday.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us. So you represent something like 80% of the top 100 countries, millions of small businesses,
and
right?
everything in between.
And everything in between. So I just sort of laid it out there, right? Like stocks holding up, labor market resilient, GDP, China's dealing with what China's dealing with. The small business story right now in this country, as you see it, is what?
Well, they have the optimism that you just heard a little bit about. They want to see resolution. But listen, they just don't have that long to wait. We heard from a CEO, founder of a small business, pretty successful, actually was featured on Shark Tank, right? So the type of business that everyone kind of aspires to be.
Right.
And they had plans for growth, and they're suddenly getting hit with these tariffs, and they're wondering about the survivability of their business. They're not able to stockpile a whole lot of goods in a huge warehouse. They buy things as they need them, as they can sell them, because cash is short for them. And so what they're stuck with now is this open question. Well, what do I do? If I import at the current tariff, if I have to pay that, do I raise prices? Do I wait? These are just life and death questions for these businesses.
I know it's not one size fits all, right? And your inbound is nuts right now, as I understand it. So what are you telling them? Right, if you could speak to all of them right now, what are you telling them?
Well, I think you can't assume anything about the future. So we can have hope about the resolution of these tariffs, but it does seem that some of the tariffs may be here to stay for a while. That's why at the U.S. Chamber we're arguing for this exemption for small businesses. We think they need that. But if we're not able to get that, they're going to have to adjust their business plans. And that means reviewing their contracts, becoming much more flexible on pricing, maybe even diversifying their business in order to stay afloat. We hope that they don't have to lay off employees, but some of us are telling us that they're looking at that as a means of conserving cash.
So what you want from a policy perspective is for the small businesses to be exempted from the tariffs.
Yes.
You guys have a line to the White House when you're making that argument. How receptive are they? How realistic do you think something like this may or may not be? Or is the president just dead set on what he thinks?
Yeah, we find a lot of sympathy in the administration to the plight of small businesses. You know, the president ran on rebuilding Main Street. He wants to be able to deliver on that. The questions we get are along the lines of, well, how long until small businesses start going out of business? How long do they have? And of course, the answer varies from business to business. And I think what they're hoping is that they'll be able to conclude these trade deals fast enough that there won't be irreparable harm. But the problem for small businesses is that's a hope that you want to come true, but it's not a guarantee, and they need something today. That's a guarantee. That's an exclusion of these tariffs.
I feel pretty safe in saying this. Had this not happened, you'd be on this show tonight talking about tax cuts.
We would be.
And the need to get tax cuts, from your perspective, passed. Here was Stephen Miller just the other day about the concept of tax cuts fitting into all this. I want to get your reaction on the other side.
The relief for small businesses is going to come in the form of the largest tax cut in American history. Companies that invest in the United States will be able to deduct 100% of that cost from their tax liability. This will be the most pro-small business tax bill in American history.
So how do you weigh a possible tax extension / cut coming versus the environment that we're in now? Is Stephen Miller right? Is it net or a gain, or not necessarily? How do you
there's no bigger champion of extending the 2017 tax cuts for small business than the U.S. Chamber. But you had the word right. It's an extension. What Congress is working on now is preventing an automatic tax increase that's scheduled to occur at the end of the year. If they get that done, and I'm confident they will, that isn't a tax cut for small business. That doesn't mean they're paying less taxes next year. It just means they avoided a big tax increase. And so while it's really important to get done, it doesn't offset these tariffs. You know, we ran some numbers, by the way. Small business imports about a third of everything we import. At the current tariff rates, if they're importing the same level of goods, small businesses are paying $9,000 a second in tariffs. So every second of every minute of every hour of every day that these tariffs are in place, it's a $9,000 cost to America's small businesses.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.